Look everyone, I can finally grow radishes. So if you remember, I talked about earlier in the year how I wasn't that great at growing radishes, and I think I had too much fertility last year. So I sowed my radishes this year where brassicas have been, and brassicas are heavy feeders. So this soil here is less fertile, and you can see we haven't got as much leaf growth, and we have got radishes. So this is bright light, so we've got a red one and a yellow one. These are French breakfast. So they haven't all done the same. I mean, we've got these two here, which look like semi-decent, and then we've got, oh no, although saying that, these ones are second sowed, because what happens, so if I come out, it all looks a bit higgledy-piggledy, and that's because the chickens got in. So some of the older ones are ones the chickens didn't root out, and then some of these smaller ones are where I had to re-sow entire lines. But I'm just super happy because it looks like I finally kind of getting the knack at radishes. So I am back down in the grower shed, and as you remember on Sunday I was very worried about the coccidiosis issue. So sadly I did lose 2 chicks, and in fact it wasn't the 2 chicks that I was worried about. One of the chicks I was worried about was this little guy here. I think this is a Wheaton Maron. And then the other one was, you remember I had these 3 little Danver crosses. There's one, and there's one, and the other one, the third one, also died. But everybody here, as you can see, everybody here looks fine. There's no lethargy, there's been no more blood since that Sunday. So I think we are back on track. I'm going to do another massive clean out of all the bedding, because obviously the oosts for the coccidiosis comes out in the poo, and it's obviously then, and then if they peck the food off the floor, that's when they can take it up. So it's really important to give them loads of really clean water, loads of clean food, and make sure the bedding is continually covered over. But now nobody else seems to be ill, and now they've recovered, they are not likely to get it again, because now obviously they've built up that immunity to that particular strain of coccidiosis. You can see there with my little Araucana. The only thing I have to be worried about is, because this is my grower shed, obviously I move my chicks in here as they grow, so I need to make sure that when I move the next set of chicks in here, this is mega cleaned out, so that if they do pick up any oosts, it's not enough to overcome their systems. But I'm very, very happy that I've only lost 2, and the majority of everybody is all alright. Lovely little rooster there. Couple of silky roosters in there at the moment. There's a miracle. Yeah, so it wasn't as bad as I thought, and we've managed to have got through it. Now we're not completely through it, because obviously the cycle does take 6 to 8 days, but we're looking okay for the minute, and it's just nice to see happy, chirpy eating hens, and this lovely little Araucana. Let it be a girl, please, so she can lay me some nice eggs. So this is one of my favourite flowers, and it's a Astrantia. It's growing in a shaded patch alongside this lovely little geranium. Here we go. And this is a great geranium because you can cut it real back and it gives you a second flush of flowers. But this is just lovely. It's really, really good for flower arrangements, because these dry very, very well, but you can see just how pretty it is. They come in lots of different colours. This is Arctic, I think, so it's a white one with this tiny little pink blush, but it comes in dark mauve, pinks, all sorts, and you can see how lovely it is. It has these type of leaves, so they're not very interesting, but the flowers themselves are what's architecturally interesting to me. I am actually going to split this later in the year and try and make lots of new ones, because it's really, really nice. It's also herbaceous, so it drops into the ground, and I want to use it at the farm in the kind of the ornamental meadow to come up through grasses and things. But it's one of my favourite plants. Very, very pretty. And a great little plant for shade as well, which is something we always are looking for. Well, a little update on the aviary. You can see there in that back corner 3 little babies. We have so many baby zebra finches at the moment. It's amazing. Look at them, aren't they cute? So I have to say, the aviary's been fairly neglected at the moment because of work. So we've got Adam racing around in the bottom, and he's been brilliant at not interfering with the baby birds, actually much better than the quail were. And then the rest of the finches are kind of at the back. I need to sort out that feeder because that's a bit gross, look. But they're just kind of chilling at the back. The diamond doves are quite happy. And as I say, I haven't done an awful lot with it lately. I've just been busy, so I've just let them get on with it. I've just been giving them food and water and left them to it, and they've actually been really, really happy. Hello. So I use actually a chicken feeder for their food, just hung like that. I do have something over the top of it to stop obviously the rain getting into it, but it works really, really well. But yeah, so that's a quick update on the aviary and the little outside birdies. It's Friday and we've just arrived at the favourite place in the world, the farm. Now you wouldn't know, I had strimmed. I strimmed here literally less than a month ago, and look at all of that cow parsley and stuff. It's gone manic. There was a few nice teasels though. I don't like strimming the teasels out because I kind of find them quite nice plants. There's a nice teasel, a few. I will obviously, oh there's loads over there actually. I was going to strim that bit, but I may not. I may just strim through some of these nettles and parsley, cow parsley. But for now, gonna get the tent set up, get all the stuff out of the car, have a cup of tea, and enjoy the lovely weather. For once we've arrived to put up the tent and it's not raining. However, we now have to contend with our campsite being right next to a big pile of poo. So this is the poo, the cow poo, look at it, blimey, sewage, nice. Actually just reminds me of work and nostalgic of home. So yes, so the cows are no longer in that barn anymore. They have gone off to their summer pastures, and you can also see that the beet has been harvested and taken out as well. So we've got a clear view across the field. Looks like they have sown it maybe with some winter wheat or something, but yeah, let's go and get set up. It's Saturday and I'm not gonna lie, I have spent most of the day just hanging out with friends and family and not doing a vast amount of work, also getting sunburnt. Look, oops, I'm really burnt, and it's not even been that sunny. One thing I have done, however, is scythe. So the problem with plants, as all of you will know, is they grow, and weeds do as well. And so obviously when we got here yesterday, this bit was as high as that, and today I have scythed everything down. That's some old curtains that I'm using. It's just a tiny bit of weed coverage, but you can see I've done a vast amount of scything. I've cut it all down. I'm not going to burn it, and I'm not going to collect it all up, because unlike a wildflower meadow, I don't mind if this soil becomes more enriched. If it was a wildflower meadow, you don't want enriched soil for your wildflowers, so you've got to rake it all off. But this doesn't matter if it stays. So there's like burdock and nettles and thistles. I have left this patch because, you know, there's a little white I've totally forgotten the name of that plant. I always forget the name of that plant. Campion. There's a little white campion. There's some plantain, and there's some teasels, and I really like the teasels. So obviously this is a teasel here, and it's going to make a nice head. So I've left this patch because I actually think it looks quite pretty. There's, you know, flowering grasses there. You've got the teasels, and then you've got some little cow parsleys and stuff. So I've left that, but the rest I have chopped. And as I say, I'm going to leave it. It's actually about 7 o'clock in the evening now, so the sun is dying and it's become a bit cooler, and we'll soon be getting our bonfire going again. But that is today, and we'll probably do some more chopping and things in the morning before we leave for home. Well, it's Sunday, and sadly that means it's almost time to leave. But I thought I'd just show you the pond. So this is the pond we've been restoring. So obviously we've cut back all of this stuff, and we have been putting in a few plants, only 4 so far. paid for by my lovely Patreons, but you can see they're still alive, and in fact they're doing really well. So this was, if you watched the last farm vlog and the pond restoration, the water was kind of up to here. So this is a boggy area, and obviously it does recede, but these are all bog loving plants. So it doesn't matter that in the winter they're kind of, you know, right up to here with water, because then as it recedes they will just take over the margins, they're marginal plants. So you've got this lovely water plantain which is doing very well. You've got the water mint, and actually if you can see they're just under the water roots, so it's already, like mint in your garden is mad, water mint, this is already starting to go mad. The water forget-me-not, if you know a forget-me-not flower, this is basically just the water variety. You can see again, it's doing lovely. It's got some lovely little flowers on it. It's looking pretty. And again, it is putting out loads of roots. So you can see here, all of those roots at the bottom. And it is only one plant, but it's, you know, it's spread all over the place. And hopefully all of this mud, these roots will be growing in. And then finally, we've got our yellow flag iris. And again, that's a nice marginal plant that's going to start expanding too. So that's really, really good. The water is fairly clear. There are water boatmen and things swimming around that you probably can't see. But it just goes to show that actually with a little bit of care and attention and opening up the canopy, so that was the major thing. There was no sun coming in here. It was all a canopy. Opening that up has now meant life has certainly started to come back to this pond. So with that said, we've got to go and pack the car, sadly, and go back to our small urban smallholding.